Alright, what if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, some of the most powerful and influential corporations in the entire United States were literally packing their bags and moving out? I'm serious. They're not just opening a new office, they are quietly, strategically, and almost completely silently slipping across the northern border into Canada. There are no flashy headlines, no big press conferences with 100 cameras flashing, and definitely no dramatic announcements on the news. It's just this massive, silent exit strategy happening right under our noses, and almost nobody is talking about it. It's like a secret mission, and we're about to blow the lid off the entire thing. This isn't just some random business decision, guys. We're talking about a calculated move that could change everything. Think about it. Why would these massive companies, the ones that basically define the American economy, just up and leave? Is it just about saving a few bucks? Or is there something bigger going on here, something they see coming that the rest of us don't? We're going to dig into the data, follow the money, and expose what's really happening behind the closed doors of these corporate boardrooms. This is a story that affects every single one of us, and you absolutely need to know what's going on before it's too late. The real question is, why Canada? Of all the places in the world, why are they choosing our neighbor to the north? Is it because of lower taxes? Is it about escaping complicated regulations that are slowing them down here in the United States? Or is there a reason that's far more strategic, something that has to do with the future of technology, resources, and global power? The truth is hiding in plain sight, buried in financial reports and relocation data that nobody seems to be paying attention to. We've spent hundreds of hours digging through it all, and what we found is absolutely insane. It's a puzzle, and every piece we uncover makes the picture even more shocking. And here's the craziest part. This isn't just about big companies. This corporate escape is the first domino to fall in a much, much bigger story. These moves are going to reshape the job market. They're going to affect the price of everything you buy, and they could even change the future of entire industries across the country. But for some reason, nobody in the mainstream media is connecting the dots and showing you the full picture. Well, that changes today. We're going to connect those dots for you, right here, right now, and what we reveal will blow your mind. You are not going to want to miss a single second of this. This isn't a drill. We're talking about a massive, coordinated shift that's being executed with military precision. These companies aren't just leaving, they're strategically repositioning themselves for a future that looks very different from the present. The lack of headlines is intentional. They don't want you to notice. They don't want a public debate or a political backlash. They want to slip away quietly, moving their headquarters, their research and development labs, and thousands of high-paying jobs without causing a panic. It's a ghost-like operation, and the silence is the most terrifying part because it means the plan is working perfectly. They are literally disappearing from the United States landscape, and the void they leave behind will be felt by everyone. Think about the impact for a second. Every single time a major company relocates, it creates a ripple effect that spreads across the entire economy. It's not just about the direct jobs that are lost, it's about the coffee shops that lose their morning rush, the real estate market that suddenly has empty office buildings, the local suppliers who lose their biggest contracts, and the city budgets that lose millions in tax revenue. These silent moves are like a slow-motion earthquake, and we're just beginning to feel the first tremors. But what happens when the shaking really starts? What happens when entire industries follow the leader and start heading for the exit? That's the multi-billion-dollar question that nobody is asking. So, what is the grand strategy here? Why are they all pointing their compasses north? The reasons are a lot more complex than you'd think. We've uncovered evidence that this is about more than just money. It's about gaining access to a different talent pool, tapping into new government incentives, and positioning themselves in a country with a more stable political and social climate. They are playing a long game, a game of chess on a global scale, and they're moving their most valuable pieces off the board before their opponent even realizes the game has started. This is a strategic retreat and a forward-thinking invasion all at once, and we are right in the middle of it. And here's where it gets even crazier. The companies making these moves are not the ones you'd expect. You're probably thinking of old manufacturing giants, but you couldn't be more wrong. We're talking about cutting-edge tech firms, innovative biotech companies, and key players in the future of artificial intelligence. These are the industries that are supposed to be driving America's future growth, but instead, they're quietly planning their departure. The implications are staggering. It suggests they believe the future is brighter, more profitable and more stable somewhere else. And we're going to show you exactly why. This is where it gets personal, because where these corporations go, people will eventually follow. First, it's the executives and the top-tier talent. Then, it's the ripple effect that pushes everyday Americans to look for opportunities elsewhere. This corporate exodus is just the tip of the iceberg, the first warning sign of a much larger migration pattern that is already starting to take shape across the United States. The same reasons driving these companies out, high costs, complex regulations, and a search for a better quality of life, are the exact same reasons that millions of Americans are packing their own bags and leaving certain states behind for good. It's all connected. And that's why you have to stick with us through this entire video. The story of these corporations is the secret prequel to the main event, the 15 states that Americans are escaping in record numbers. We're going to break it down, state by state, and reveal the hidden data that shows who is leaving, where they're going, and the shocking reasons why. This isn't just a list, it's a roadmap of the massive demographic shifts that are redrawing the map of America right now. And trust me, the state that lands at the #1 spot is going to shock every single person watching this. It's a place you would never, ever expect. We're building up to something huge here, and the suspense is real. We're not just going to tell you which states are losing people. We're going to explain the why behind the headlines. We'll look at the crippling housing costs that are forcing families to choose between a home and their future. We'll investigate the crushing tax burdens that are making it impossible for small businesses and middle-class families to get ahead. And we'll uncover the political and social issues that are pushing people to their breaking point. This is the real story, the one that's not being told on the nightly news, and you're about to get a front row seat, so get ready. Before we dive into the countdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you are not going to want to miss what comes next. This isn't just another video, this is a wake-up call. The information we're about to share could literally change the way you see the country, and might even influence your own decisions about where you want to live and build your future. The Great American Migration is happening now, and the countdown to revealing the #1 most escaped state starts right now. Let's go. So, we've talked about these giant companies making moves, but what does that actually mean? It's not just about a CEO deciding to change their headquarters address. We're talking about a massive, unbelievable domino effect that is quietly reshaping the entire country right under our noses, and almost nobody is talking about it. This isn't just a business story, it's a story about your neighbors, your friends, and maybe even you. Every time one of these corporations packs up, it sets off a chain reaction that you wouldn't believe, and we're going to show you exactly how deep this rabbit hole goes. It's bigger than you could ever imagine, and the clues are everywhere if you know where to look. Think about it like this. For every corporate office that moves, hundreds, sometimes thousands of jobs are on the line. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. These are real people with families, mortgages, and lives built around those jobs. So when the company leaves, they face an impossible choice: uproot their entire existence and follow the job, or get left behind. This is the hidden story that the mainstream news just isn't covering. They report the corporate move, but they never show you the thousands of for sale signs that pop up in the months that follow. It's a silent evacuation happening in slow motion across the country, and this is where it gets absolutely insane. The story doesn't stop with just the employees. What about the local coffee shop that served those workers every morning? What about the dry cleaner, the grocery store, the car mechanic? Their customer base literally disappears overnight. This is the ripple effect that's turning once thriving communities into modern-day ghost towns, and it's happening faster than ever before. We're about to expose the full scale of this crisis, revealing the states that are bleeding residents and the shocking reasons why they are being forced to leave their homes behind for good. You need to stick with us because what we're about to reveal is genuinely shocking. We've spent hundreds of hours digging through data, talking to people on the ground, and piecing together this puzzle. The #1 state on our list is going to blow your mind. It's a place you would never, ever expect to see in a video like this. The reasons people are fleeing are so unbelievable that you'll have to see it to believe it. This isn't just clickbait. This is a real-time demographic shift that will affect the future of America, so you are not going to want to miss a single second of this. Okay, so we've established that this is way bigger than just a few corporations moving. This is about people. Millions of ordinary Americans are now making the same calculated decision as these giant companies, but for intensely personal reasons. They're looking at their paychecks, their tax bills, the cost of gas, the price of a carton of eggs, and they're realizing the American dream is becoming a nightmare in their home state. This isn't a choice they want to make. It's a choice they to make just to survive, just to give their kids a chance at a better future. It's a quiet desperation that's fueling the largest internal migration this country has seen in decades. We're going to connect the dots for you right now. The corporate exodus is the smoke, but the personal migration is the fire. When a state's policies make it impossible for businesses to stay, those same policies are crushing regular families. We're talking about skyrocketing property taxes that are forcing retirees out of homes they've owned for 50 years. We're talking about crumbling infrastructure and underfunded schools that make parents question if their kids are safe. These aren't just political talking points. This is the day-to-day reality for millions of people who are now voting with their feet, packing their lives into a U-Haul, and never looking back. Imagine you work your entire life to build something, to own a home, to create a stable life, only to watch it become completely unaffordable in the span of a few years. That's the story we heard over and over again while researching this video. People feel betrayed. They played by the rules, they paid their taxes, they contributed to their communities, and now they're being priced out of their own lives. They are fleeing to states where their money goes further, where they can actually afford to buy a house, and where they feel like they have a shot at getting ahead instead of just treading water. This is the critical transition point. The corporate story and the people's story are two sides of the same coin. They are fundamentally linked. One doesn't happen without the other. In a minute, we're going to begin the official countdown of the 15 states that are losing this battle for their own residents. The list is full of surprises, and the reasons for the exodus from each state are more dramatic and more personal than you can possibly imagine. This is the real story of America in 2025, and it's a story of escape. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. We've laid out the evidence, we've shown you the scale of this unbelievable national migration, and now it's time to name the names. We are about to begin our official countdown of the 15 states that Americans are abandoning in record numbers. This list was compiled from insane amounts of data. We're talking moving company statistics, IRS migration data, census reports, and hundreds of personal accounts. This isn't based on opinion, this is based on cold, hard facts. The numbers don't lie, and they paint a picture of a country that is dramatically rearranging itself right before our very eyes. Each state on this list has a unique story, a specific set of problems that are driving its residents away. Some of these you might expect, but I promise you, some of them will completely catch you off guard. We're going to break down the exact reasons for each state's decline, from outrageous taxes and suffocating regulations to a cost of living that has become totally unsustainable for the average family. This isn't just a list. It's an investigation into why the American dream is dying in certain parts of the country and forcing people to search for it elsewhere. The drama is real, and the stakes couldn't be higher for these states. Before we reveal the first state at number 15, I need you to do something for me. Think about the state you live in. Do you see people leaving? Are for sale signs popping up everywhere? Is the cost of everything going through the roof? There's a very good chance your state might be on this list, and the reasons we're about to share will explain exactly what you're seeing in your own neighborhood. This is more than just a YouTube video. This is a public service announcement about the economic and social forces that are tearing communities apart. So get ready. Buckle up. We're about to dive deep into the first state on our countdown. The anticipation is killing me, because once we start this ball rolling, it's not going to stop. We're going to expose what's really happening, state by state, all the way to the number one most escaped state in America, a state that will leave you speechless. This is the countdown that reveals the hidden crisis in America. Let's get into it right now. The first state is coming up next. All right, before we dive into the first state on this insane list, I have a challenge for every single person watching this video right now. If you want to see more content like this, more videos that pull back the curtain and show you what's really happening behind the scenes, I need you to do something for me. I want to see if we can get 100,000 likes on this video in the next 24 hours. That's right, 100,000 likes. Every single like tells the YouTube algorithm that this is a story that needs to be heard, that these are facts people need to know. It's more than just a number. It's you guys telling us to keep digging and keep exposing the truth. And while you're down there hitting that like button, make sure you also smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. Seriously, click the little bell icon. We are dropping videos every single week that are just as mind-blowing as this one, and you literally cannot afford to miss them. The mainstream media isn't going to tell you why thousands of your neighbors are packing up and leaving. They won't cover the real reasons behind these massive population shifts. But we will. Subscribing means you're joining a community that's ahead of the curve. A group of people who want the real story, not just the headlines they feed you. Don't get left behind. Think of it like this. Every subscribe is a vote for transparency. It's a vote for us to go even bigger on the next video. Maybe we'll even go to these states and interview the people leaving in person. But we can only do that with your support. The stories we're about to share are the ones that get buried, the quiet conversations happening in living rooms across America that are turning into real-life moving trucks. We are your source for the information they don't want you to hear. Powerful people and corporations would rather you didn't know about these trends, so you don't start asking questions. Let's make some noise they can't ignore. So let's do this. Pause the video right now if you have to. Go down, click like, click subscribe, and ring that notification bell. It takes 2 seconds, and it literally fuels everything we do here. Are you ready? Because we're about to get into the very first state on our countdown. And trust me, it's just the beginning of a journey that is going to completely change how you see the map of the United States. The information we've gathered is absolutely insane. And it all starts right after you join the notification squad. Let's go. Okay, the countdown is officially on. We are about to reveal the states that are seeing a massive exodus, but I have to warn you, the order might not be what you think. We've spent hundreds of hours analyzing data, looking at moving company reports, and tracking economic trends to put this list together. This isn't just guesswork. This is based on hard numbers. As we go through each state, I want you to pay close attention to the patterns. You're going to see a lot of the same problems popping up over and over again, from insane housing costs to taxes that are just crushing ordinary families. It's a wake-up call. We're going to be moving fast, but I need you to stick with me through this whole video. I know what you're thinking. You'll just skip to the end to see which state is number one. But if you do that, you'll miss the entire story. Each state we cover is a piece of a much larger puzzle. Understanding why people are leaving state number 10 is just as important as understanding why they are fleeing state number 1. The context is everything, and the connections between these states will blow your mind. This isn't just a list. It's a narrative about the future of America. I'm also going to promise you something right now. The state that lands at the number 1 spot on our list is going to be the most shocking reveal of the year. I guarantee you, it's not the one you're expecting. People are practically stampeding out of this state for reasons that are almost unbelievable, and we have all the details. So, I'm challenging you to keep watching. Don't click away. The suspense is going to build with every single state we reveal, and the payoff at the end will be absolutely worth it. You're going to want to be here for the final reveal. So grab a snack, get comfortable, because we are about to take a deep dive into the first state on our list. The information we're about to share could literally impact your financial future, your career, and even where you decide to live. This is more than just entertainment. This is crucial information for anyone living in the United States right now. Are you ready to see which state is first up on the chopping block? Let's get right into it because the clock is ticking and people are moving as we speak. Hold on. Before we get to our next state, I need everyone to do me a huge favor. We are about to get into the really juicy part of the list, the states that are hemorrhaging residents at an alarming rate. The stories get crazier and the numbers get bigger from here on out. If you are getting any value from this video, if you've learned even one new thing so far, please take a half second and obliterate that like button. Let's see if we can get it to turn blue for every single person watching. It helps us out more than you could ever imagine. Seriously, your engagement is the fuel that runs this channel. When you like, comment, and subscribe, you're not just a viewer, you're part of the team. You're telling us that you want more investigations like this, more deep dives into the topics that actually matter to your life. And I'm telling you, the state we are about to reveal is a huge one. The exodus from this place is making national headlines, but nobody is telling the full story. We are. So hit that like button and subscribe right now so you don't miss what's coming next because it's a game changer. I'm going to make you a promise. If you stick with us to the end of this video, you will have a completely different perspective on the American dream. You will understand the hidden economic forces that are pushing people to make life-altering decisions. The next state on our list is a perfect example of a place that was once seen as a paradise but is now becoming a trap for the middle class. The reasons why are both fascinating and terrifying, and it's a cautionary tale for the rest of the country. You absolutely need to hear this. So one last time before we reveal this next state. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and get ready. We're not just listing states, we're telling the story of a nation in transition. The information you're about to receive is powerful, and you'll be one of the few who truly understands what's happening beneath the surface. Okay, no more waiting. You've done your part, now it's time for us to deliver. Let's dive into the next state Americans are desperately trying to escape. Here we go. Alright, before we get to the next state on our list, I need you guys to do something absolutely insane for me. We've gone through some shocking states already, but trust me, the next one is going to blow your mind, and we are getting closer and closer to that #1 spot that literally no one is talking about. So, if you haven't already, I need every single person watching this video right now to pause for just 1 second, scroll down, and completely obliterate that like button. Let's see if we can get this video to over 1 million likes. That would be absolutely legendary and help us get this information out to more people. And while you're down there, if you love finding out the hidden truths and secrets that aren't being reported on the nightly news, you have to subscribe to the channel. We spend thousands of hours and go through mountains of data to bring you these videos, and hitting that subscribe button is the #1 way to support us and make sure you never miss another video. Seriously, click it right now. I'll wait. We're building a massive community of people who want to know what's really going on, and I want you to be a part of it. It's completely free and it means the world to us. Okay, did you do it? Did you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications? Because the state we're about to reveal is a place that many people have been flocking to, but now the story is flipping on its head. The reasons why people are leaving are complex, and they're happening right under everyone's noses. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, this is about real families making incredibly tough decisions about their future. You think you know the story of this state, but I promise you the reality on the ground is something totally different, and we have the inside scoop. I'm telling you, you are not going to want to miss the rest of this list. We are counting down to the single most shocking state that Americans are fleeing from, and each step closer reveals another piece of this massive puzzle. The trends we're uncovering are going to define the next decade in America, affecting everything from your job to your retirement. So get ready, lock in, because we're about to dive into the #6 state on our list, and it's a big one. Let's go. Coming in at #6 is the evergreen state Washington. For years, Washington, especially the Seattle area, was the promised land for tech workers and nature lovers. It was the home of giants like Amazon and Microsoft with incredible scenery. From the Puget Sound to the Cascade Mountains, people from all over the country and the world packed their bags and moved here dreaming of high-paying jobs and a vibrant, progressive culture. It seemed like the perfect place to build a life, a career, and a future. But guys, the dream is starting to crumble for so many people. The biggest reason? The cost of living has gone completely parabolic. We're talking about housing prices that make it almost impossible for anyone who isn't a top-level software engineer to even think about buying a home. The median home price in Seattle is astronomical, and it's not just Seattle. The costs are spilling over into surrounding cities like Bellevue and Tacoma, pushing regular families further and further out. People who have lived there for generations are being priced out of their own neighborhoods. It's an insane affordability crisis that is forcing a quiet but massive exodus. But it's not just the housing. A web of strict regulations and a tax environment that many find challenging are adding to the pressure. For small business owners, navigating the bureaucracy can be an absolute nightmare, and the tax burden can feel suffocating. On top of that, there's a growing sense of frustration with issues like public safety and homelessness, especially in the major urban centers. People are looking around and asking, am I paying some of the highest costs in the country for this? For a growing number of residents, the answer is a resounding no. So where are they going? They aren't moving far. We're seeing a massive migration of former Washingtonians to neighboring states like Idaho and Oregon, or even further to places like Arizona and Nevada. They are seeking relief, looking for places where their paycheck goes further and the dream of homeownership is still alive. The silent exodus from Washington is a warning sign that even the most prosperous and beautiful states can reach a tipping point, forcing their own people to look for better opportunities elsewhere. Alright, this next one is going to shock a lot of you. For the last decade, we've heard one story: everyone is moving to Texas. The Lone Star State was the undisputed champion of inbound migration, with its promise of no state income tax, affordable housing, and a booming job market. Cities like Austin became magnets for tech companies and young professionals leaving places like California. It was the American dream, supersized. But hold on, because the tide is starting to turn in a way that almost nobody is reporting. Texas is now seeing a surprising and significant number of people leaving. What in the world is going on? It's what I call the paradox of popularity. Texas, and especially Austin, became so popular that it started to become a victim of its own success. The very things that drew people in are now starting to disappear. That affordable housing? It's not so affordable anymore. In Austin, home prices skyrocketed, becoming completely unaffordable for many, even those with good-paying jobs. The laid-back, keep Austin weird vibe has been replaced by insane traffic, endless construction, and a cost of living that is starting to rival the coastal cities people were escaping from in the first place. And it's not just the cost. Let's talk about property taxes. While Texas boasts no state income tax, it has some of the highest property taxes in the entire country. New residents who bought homes at inflated prices are now getting hit with absolutely massive tax bills that they were not expecting. Add to that the strain on infrastructure, the power grid issues, the crowded schools, the overwhelmed roads, and the Texas dream starts to look a lot less appealing. People moved for a certain quality of life, and many are finding that it's no longer what was advertised. So, while thousands are still moving in, a growing wave of people, including some who just arrived, are already packing their bags again. They came seeking opportunity and affordability, but found that the gold rush had pushed prices to the breaking point. This outflow from Texas is one of the most surprising twists in America's migration story. It's a critical lesson that when a place gets too hot, even the most loyal residents start looking for the exit. And believe me, the states get even more shocking as we get closer to number 1. Alright, coming in at number 12, we have a state that's literally in the middle of everything, but people are leaving in droves. We're talking about Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Now, you might be thinking, Mr. Beast, Pennsylvania has history, it has cheesesteaks, what could possibly be wrong? Well, what if I told you that for every person moving into Pennsylvania, almost 2 are packing their bags and getting out? It's an insane ratio, and the reason is something you probably wouldn't guess unless you've tried to buy a house there. It's not just one thing, it's a perfect storm of problems that are pushing people to their absolute breaking point, forcing them to leave behind everything they've ever known for a chance at a better life somewhere else. The biggest, most insane reason people are fleeing Pennsylvania is the property taxes. These aren't just high, they are absolutely bonkers. Imagine working your entire life to pay off your house, only to realize you have to keep paying thousands and thousands of dollars every single year just to keep it. It's like you're renting your own home from the government forever. We're talking about some of the highest effective property tax rates in the entire country. For families and especially retirees living on a fixed income, this is a financial death sentence. They're being taxed right out of their homes, and there's literally nothing they can do about it except sell and move to a state that won't bleed them dry. It's a silent crisis that's emptying out entire neighborhoods. And if the taxes don't get you, the infrastructure might. I'm serious, guys. Pennsylvania's roads and bridges are literally falling apart. It's like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. We're talking about thousands of bridges that are structurally deficient and roads covered in so many potholes you could lose a small car in them. Driving to work becomes a daily gamble with your car's suspension and your own safety. This isn't just an inconvenience. It's a massive, expensive problem that the state seems unable to fix. People are tired of paying high taxes for services that are crumbling before their very eyes. They see their money going into a black hole while the basics, like safe roads, are completely neglected. So where are all these people going? They're not moving across the country, they're making a strategic retreat right next door. States like Ohio, Delaware, and West Virginia are seeing a massive influx of former Pennsylvanians. Why? Because they offer a similar lifestyle, the same 4 seasons, but without the insane tax burden and the crumbling infrastructure. It's a no-brainer. You can live just a few hours away from your old home, see your family and friends, but save thousands of dollars a year and not have to worry about a bridge collapsing on your way to the grocery store. Pennsylvania is in a tough spot, bleeding residents to its neighbors, and if they don't fix these core issues, the exodus is only going to get crazier. Okay, this next one is going to shock you. For years, this was the state everyone wanted to move to. The mountains, the lifestyle, the legal weed. It was the ultimate destination. We are talking about Colorado, but what if I told you the dream is over? The state that was once a magnet for young people and adventurers is now seeing a massive outflow of residents. It's one of the biggest reverse cards in the entire country. People who moved there for a better life are now desperately trying to escape, and the reasons are absolutely insane. It's a classic story of a place becoming too popular for its own good, and now the very people who built its cool reputation can no longer afford to live there. The number one reason it's gotten ridiculously, unbelievably expensive. It's like California prices but with more snow. The cost of living in cities like Denver and Boulder has exploded into the stratosphere. Buying a house is a complete fantasy for the average person. We're talking about starter homes, literal sheds, selling for over $500,000. Rent is just as insane, with people paying thousands for tiny apartments. It's created a situation where you have to be a millionaire to live the laid-back Colorado lifestyle. The state's popularity became its own worst enemy, driving prices so high that regular people, teachers, firefighters, and even tech workers are being forced out. You can't enjoy the mountains if you're working 3 jobs just to afford your rent. On top of the insane costs, the vibe of the state has completely changed. What was once a purple state with a live-and-let-live attitude has become deeply politically polarized. This isn't just about arguments on Twitter, it's affecting local laws, community feel, and daily life. People on both sides of the aisle feel like the state is no longer for them. Conservatives feel like the state has become too liberal, while some liberals feel the influx of tech money has eroded the state's authentic, outdoorsy culture. This constant political tension has made it a less welcoming place for a lot of folks who just wanted to ski and hike in peace. They came for the mountains, not for the constant political battles that have taken over. So the people who are leaving Colorado are looking for what I call Colorado Light. They still want the mountains and the outdoor lifestyle, but they want it at a price they can actually afford. This is why states like Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming are absolutely booming. They offer the same stunning scenery and access to nature without the insane price tag and the political drama of Denver or Boulder. These former Coloradans are cashing out their ridiculously expensive homes and buying literal mansions in these neighboring states. They're chasing the dream they thought they'd find in Colorado, proving that when a place becomes a parody of itself, people will always find the next frontier. Colorado's loss is the rest of the Mountain West's gain. Coming up next is a state that's home to some of the smartest people in the world, with universities like Harvard and MIT, but even they can't figure out how to afford to live there. We're talking about Massachusetts. This is absolutely wild. You have a state that is a global hub for education, tech, and medicine, yet it's bleeding residents, especially the middle class. It's a massive paradox. The state is creating incredible opportunities and high-paying jobs, but the cost of just existing there is so astronomically high that it cancels everything out. It's like winning $1 million, but everything in the store costs $2 million. The math just doesn't work, and people are voting with their moving trucks. The main villain in this story, without a doubt, is the housing market. It's not just expensive. It is legitimately impossible for normal people. The median home price in Massachusetts is one of the highest in the entire nation, and in the Boston area, it's even more insane. We're talking about needing to be a literal millionaire to buy a decent family home. This isn't just affecting low-income families, it's crushing the middle class. Doctors, lawyers, and tech professionals are struggling to find affordable housing. What hope does a teacher or a firefighter have? They're being completely priced out of the communities they serve, forced into insane commutes, or, increasingly, forced to leave the state altogether for a place where their salary actually means something. And if you think you can handle the mortgage, just wait until you see the taxes. Massachusetts has earned the nickname Taxachusetts for a reason, and it is living up to the hype. The state has a high income tax, high property taxes, and a new millionaire's tax that adds an extra surcharge on high earners. While taxing the rich sounds good, it has the unintended consequence of pushing successful people and the businesses they run to other states. But it's not just the rich who feel the squeeze. The combination of all these taxes makes it one of the most expensive states to live and work in for everybody. People are looking at their paychecks, seeing how much is taken out, and realizing they could have a much higher quality of life in a state that lets them keep more of their own money. The exodus from Massachusetts is a silent brain drain that is seriously scary for the state's future. The people leaving aren't just anyone. They're young families, skilled workers, and recent graduates, the very people the state needs to thrive. They're flocking to states like New Hampshire, which has no income or sales tax, and to sunnier, cheaper states like Florida and North Carolina. They're taking their skills, their ambitions, and their tax dollars with them. Massachusetts is becoming a state of the very rich and the very poor, with a hollowed-out middle class. If a state with one of the most powerful economies in the world can't keep its own people, It's a massive warning sign that something is fundamentally broken. Alright, coming in at number 15 on our list of states people are literally running from is Illinois. Seriously, you guys are not going to believe the numbers on this one. For years, Illinois has been losing more people than almost any other state, and we're talking about a full-on stampede for the exits. This isn't just a few people getting tired of the cold winters. This is a massive, record-breaking migration that's shaking the entire Midwest to its core. We sent our team to investigate, and what they found was absolutely insane. People are packing everything they own into trucks and not looking back, creating a ghost town effect in some neighborhoods. The sheer scale of this exodus is like nothing we've ever seen before. So why is everyone bailing on Illinois? 2 words: taxes and debt. Illinois has some of the highest taxes in the entire country. I'm talking property taxes that could literally buy you a new car every few years. It's gotten so expensive that families who have lived there for generations are being forced to sell their homes because they can't afford the bills. And it's not just property taxes. The state is drowning in debt, and they keep trying to tax their way out of the problem, which only makes more people leave. It's a crazy, vicious cycle, and we're watching it unfold in real time. This is like a real-life game of Monopoly, where the government puts a hotel on every property you own. The heart of this exodus is Chicago and its suburbs. For years, Chicago was the dream city, the shining jewel of the Midwest, but now, people are fleeing in droves. We're talking about tens of thousands of people leaving Cook County every single year. The cost of living, combined with concerns over crime and the never-ending political drama, has created a perfect storm. It's so bad that for every 1 person moving into Illinois, nearly 3 are moving out. Think about that for a second. That's a ratio that spells disaster for any state's economy and future. It's an unbelievable statistic that should be front-page news every single day. So where are all these former Illinois residents going? They're heading for states like Florida, Texas, and Arizona, places with lower taxes and warmer weather, but they're also heading to neighboring states like Indiana and Wisconsin, literally moving just across the border to escape the tax burden. It's a strategic retreat to save their financial future. The state is bleeding its most valuable asset, its people. And the craziest part is this trend is only getting faster. If you're watching this from Illinois, smash that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments if you're planning on leaving too. This is a massive story unfolding right now. Next up on our list, we have the state that literally holds the crown for the highest property taxes in the entire nation, New Jersey. You guys, I cannot even begin to explain how wild this is. Imagine paying more in property taxes every year than what some people pay for rent in other states. It's absolutely mind-blowing. We're talking about an average of nearly $10,000 a year just in property taxes. That's like buying a used car and giving it to the government every single year for free. It's no wonder people are saying enough is enough and getting out of there as fast as they possibly can. This isn't just a trend, it's a full-blown financial survival mission. But it's not just the property taxes that are pushing people out of the Garden State. The overall cost of living is through the roof. Everything from gas to groceries to housing is astronomically expensive, making it one of the priciest places to live in the United States. You could literally live like a king in another state for what it costs to just get by in New Jersey. We're seeing families, young professionals, and especially retirees packing their bags because their savings and income just don't go as far. They're being squeezed from every possible angle, and the only logical move is to escape to a place where their money is actually worth something. The migration patterns out of New Jersey are shocking. For years, the punchline was that people from New Jersey moved to Florida, but it's so much bigger than that now. Yes, Florida is still a top destination, but so are the Carolinas and, surprisingly, Pennsylvania. People are literally just hopping over the Delaware River to escape the tax man. It's a constant stream of cars with Jersey plates heading west on Interstate 78, not for a vacation, but for a new life. This isn't a slow trickle. It's a fire hose of residents leaving the state, and it's creating a massive brain drain and tax base collapse that officials are struggling to stop. What's insane is that even with its beautiful beaches and proximity to New York City, the financial pressure is just too much. The dream of living in a nice suburban home in New Jersey is turning into a financial nightmare for thousands of people. They're trading in the Jersey Shore for the lower costs of living somewhere else. The state is in a challenge against itself. Can it fix its affordability crisis before everyone leaves? Right now, it's losing. Before we get to the next state, which is one of the most shocking on this list, make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss what's coming next. You are not going to believe it. Alright, get ready for this one. This might be the most shocking state on our entire list, because for years this was the state everyone was moving to. We're talking about Florida. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Florida was the promised land of no state income tax, sunny weather, and affordable living. But in a massive plot twist that nobody saw coming, the dream is starting to crumble. The secret is out. Florida is getting incredibly expensive, and now, for the first time in decades, we're seeing a surprising number of people packing up and leaving the Sunshine State. This is a huge, unbelievable reversal that could change everything. So what in the world happened? In a nutshell, Florida became a victim of its own success. So many people moved there, especially over the last few years, that it created an insane surge in demand. Housing prices have absolutely exploded, going up by 50, 60, or even 70% in some areas. A house that was affordable just a few years ago is now a multi-million-dollar property in some cases. People who moved to Florida for a lower cost of living are now finding themselves priced out of the very paradise they sought. It's a classic story of too much of a good thing, and now the bubble is showing signs of bursting. But here's the secret killer that's driving people out, and it's something nobody talks about enough: insurance costs. Homeowners insurance in Florida has become catastrophically expensive, if you can even get it at all. Because of hurricanes and flooding, insurance companies are pulling out of the state or charging residents astronomical premiums. We're talking about people's insurance bills doubling or tripling in a single year, costing them thousands and thousands of extra dollars. It's a hidden tax that makes living in Florida completely unsustainable for many, even for people who own their homes outright. It's a massive financial gut punch that's forcing them to sell. This is the ultimate paradox. The state that built its reputation on being a low-tax haven is now becoming unaffordable because of these hidden costs. We're seeing long-time residents, the very people who built Florida, cashing out and moving to places like Tennessee, Georgia, and the Carolinas, seeking a quieter and more predictable life. The Great Florida Migration is now turning into the Great Florida Exodus for a growing number of people. It's a shocking turn of events, and it proves that no state is immune to these massive shifts. The next state on our list is an absolute giant, and the reasons people are leaving will blow your mind. Smash that like button if you're ready. Alright, a lot of you probably saw this one coming, but we are officially at number 2 on our list, and it's the one, the only, New York. For decades, this was the place to be, the center of the universe, the city that never sleeps, the place where dreams are made. If you could make it here, you could make it anywhere, right? But what happens when making it means you can't even afford to live there anymore? We're talking about a state that has become so unbelievably expensive, so tangled in its own rules and regulations, that even the most loyal New Yorkers are packing their bags and not looking back. This isn't just a few people leaving. This is a massive, record-breaking exodus that's changing the face of the entire state. We sent our team to talk to people on the streets of Manhattan, and the stories were insane. We met a guy who was paying over $4,000 a month for a tiny studio apartment, a space so small you could literally touch both walls at the same time. He told us he was moving to Florida, where for the same price, he could get a massive 4-bedroom house with a pool. It's not just about the rent either. It's the taxes, which are some of the highest in the entire country. People are getting crushed by property taxes, state income taxes, and city taxes. It's like a triple threat that drains your bank account before you even have a chance to spend your money on anything else. And here's the craziest part. It's not just the everyday people who are leaving. We're talking about millionaires and billionaires, the very people who fuel the state's economy. They're taking their businesses, their investments, and their tax dollars with them to places like Florida and Texas. Why? Because the business environment in New York has become a bureaucratic nightmare. Starting a business or even just keeping one running involves navigating a maze of permits, licenses, and regulations that can take years and cost a fortune. It's like the state is actively trying to push people away, and honestly, it's working better than anyone could have ever imagined. The silent migration is becoming a deafening roar. So where are all these people going? You guessed it. Florida is the #1 destination, creating this bizarre migration pattern where New Yorkers are basically swapping snow for sunshine and state income taxes for sandy beaches. But they're also heading to Texas, North Carolina, and even their neighbor, New Jersey, in search of a better quality of life. The dream of New York is fading fast, replaced by the harsh reality of a state that has become simply unaffordable and unlivable for millions. The Empire State is seeing its empire crumble, one moving truck at a time, which brings us to the #1 most escaped state in America. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The moment you've all been waiting for, the number one state that Americans are fleeing in absolute record numbers is California. I know, for years California was the ultimate prize. Hollywood, Silicon Valley, beautiful beaches, perfect weather, it was the American dream packaged and sold to the world. But today, we're going to show you how that dream has turned into an absolute nightmare for millions of people. We're talking about an exodus so massive, so unprecedented, that for the first time in its history, California's population is actually shrinking. This isn't just a trend, it's a full-blown crisis, a mass departure from the Golden State. We literally bought a plane ticket for a family who was making their final move out of Los Angeles after living there for over 30 years. They told us they just couldn't do it anymore. The cost of living is astronomical. A small, rundown house in a mediocre neighborhood can cost over $1 million. Gas prices are the highest in the nation, sometimes double what you'd pay in other states. And the taxes? Don't even get me started. California has the highest state income tax rate in the entire country, which means the more you earn, the more the state takes, leaving you with less and less to actually live on. It's a financial trap that has become impossible to escape for the middle class. But it's not just about the money. We talked to dozens of former residents who said their primary reason for leaving was safety. They spoke of rising crime rates, widespread homelessness that has taken over entire neighborhoods, and a general sense of lawlessness that made them feel unsafe in their own homes. Imagine paying millions for a house only to have to worry about your car being broken into every single night. It's an insane reality that people are no longer willing to accept. They're tired of the politics, the policies that don't seem to work, and the feeling that the state they once loved is spiraling out of control. The golden dream has officially been tarnished. So the big question is, where are they all going? The top destinations for fleeing Californians are Texas, Arizona, and Nevada. They're looking for affordability, lower taxes, and a better quality of life. They're trading the Pacific Coast Highway for the wide open spaces of the Lone Star State. This isn't just a handful of people, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of residents, including major companies like Tesla and Oracle, who have packed up and moved their headquarters out of state. California is bleeding people, talent, and money at an alarming rate, making it without a doubt the number one state Americans are escaping in 2025. So there you have it. The top states people are desperately trying to escape. From the high taxes of Illinois and New York to the insane housing costs of California and Washington, a massive shift is happening right under our noses. This isn't just about moving vans and real estate listings, this is about the future of our country. The very map of America is being redrawn, not by politicians but by everyday people voting with their feet. They are chasing affordability, opportunity, and a better quality of life, and their decisions are creating new economic powerhouses while leaving others to deal with the consequences of a shrinking population and tax base. What we've shown you today is just the beginning of this story. If these states shocked you, imagine what's coming next. The landscape of America is shifting so fast, and you absolutely deserve to stay ahead of it. The trends we've uncovered today are going to have massive ripple effects on everything from the job market to the housing market for years to come. Understanding these changes isn't just interesting, it's essential for making smart decisions for you and your family's future. We're committed to digging deep and bringing you the stories and the data that you won't find anywhere else, giving you the information you need to navigate this changing world. But we can't do it without you guys. We literally spend hundreds of thousands of dollars researching these videos, sending our team across the country, and compiling all this data to bring you the absolute best content possible. All we ask in return is for you to support the channel, so hit that like button, subscribe for more eye-opening insights, and share this video with someone who needs to know where people are really going in 2025. Your support allows us to keep making these massive videos and tackling the big questions that everyone is thinking about, but nobody is talking about. Let us know in the comments which state surprised you the most. And before you go, think about this. The Great American Migration is in full swing. Are you living in a state that's gaining people or losing them? And more importantly, why? The story of America in the 21st century is a story of movement, of change, and of people relentlessly searching for a better life. Thank you so much for watching. We've got another insane video coming next week that you are not going to want to miss. Seriously, it's going to be our biggest one yet, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We'll see you in the next one.